So, as a real estate agent and an entrepreneur in general, it's really important that we focus on what I like to call the secret sauce of building a business, and that is your own mindset. So, today I want to share with you the 6 things that you can really start focusing on to make sure that you have the right mindset in order to create this massive business. Hi, my name is Mruwat. I'm with eXp Realty, where I've coached and trained thousands of real estate agents all over the world. And today I'm going to share with you the 6 mindset factors that I've created over the last 12 plus years in order to create this massive business. So number 1, we're going to start with going back to the basics. That's right. It's really about the fundamental and foundational skills. So a lot of times, especially for those of us that have been in the real estate business for, 5, 10, 15 or more years, we forget some of those foundational things that we learned in the beginning. And the reality is, if it sounds a little bit cliche, but if you're looking to build a house, you're not going to build a strong house without a strong foundation. So you have to build those foundational skills. And it's amazing to me in talking to a lot of real estate agents, how many agents don't have any systems or processes. They don't have a CRM. They don't have any kind of follow-up. They're really just kind of throwing darts at the wall and hoping that something sticks. And in order to have a long-term sustainable business, you want to go after repeat business and referrals from your friends, from your sphere, from past clients. And the way that you can do that is making sure that you've got those systems and processes in place. So sometimes we have to take a step back in order to leap forward, and that's going to be really building those foundational skills from the beginning. And then number 2 is, we've all heard the law of what you focus on expands, and that could not be more true as being an entrepreneur. So, if you're focusing on the negative things, if you're focusing on why am I not getting enough clients? Why am I not doing this? Why is this not happening to me? Why is this happening to this person but not me? That's going to continue to expand. Whereas when you focus on getting more prospects, getting more business, really prospecting and building your business consistently, that's where it's going to start expanding. And the thing about real estate is we all know that real estate operates in a 90-day cycle. So it is not necessarily a fast cycle. If you do efforts today, you're not necessarily going to reap the reward today or tomorrow. So it's going to be 90 days from now. But it's that consistency that counts, and what you're focusing on here is ultimately what's going to matter. So if you believe that you can do it, then you're going to continue to do it, and you're going to find a way, and you're going to start having a more positive and abundant mindset, which is incredibly important in building any business. Number 3 is stop comparing. Comparing yourself to others is definitely the death of joy. And that's what, we've all heard that phrase before, but it couldn't be more true, especially when you're a solopreneur. So we're all in this business of really building our own business. We have, it's a very competitive industry. And so it's easy to start comparing yourself to others. But the reality is, you can't compare yourself to others because we don't know the steps they've taken to get there, right? You have a lot of agents that have had mentors, they have coaches, they've taken additional trainings, they've got what I like to call relationship equity, right? Meaning maybe they've been in the industry 20, 30 years and they've built their referral and repeat business, and they're not having to constantly go out and fish for new leads, prospecting, etc. Maybe they've focused on their marketing and their personal branding over the last decade. So again, you don't want to necessarily compare yourself. And the reality is we all have different goals. And so a lot of us have maybe similar professional goals, but we have different personal goals. And it's important that your personal and professional goals, you know what both of those are, and then make sure that they're in alignment so they don't clash with one another. Because what's going to happen is if you're comparing yourself to another top producer in your industry, but maybe you have different personal goals than they do. Maybe, you've got a family life, or your kids are in sports, or what you like to travel, or what have you. Then it's hard if you're going to compare yourself, then that's definitely going to take away from the business that you're doing. So going back to the second one is what you focus on expands. If you continue to focus on other comparisons for other agents, then you're going to continue to get further and further apart. So I always recommend, put your head down, take massive action, and just focus on what your personal and professional goals are, and make sure that you're moving that needle forward every single day. Try to have a success every single day. The fact of the matter is, some days are going to be bigger wins than others, and that's okay. But be in competition with yourself. Look in the mirror. That's who you should be in competition with, not others. Now, it's definitely okay to look at rankings and look at production reports and things like that, just to make sure that you're going on track with the market. But on a day-to-day basis, make sure that the only person that you're in competition with is improving yourself every single day. And number 4, this is a big one. Be willing to adapt and learn, especially in, the market that we're in right now. Call it a correction, call it a recession, a market shift, what have you, whatever you want to call it. The reality is the market is softening, and a lot of agents, including top producers, teams, and broker owners, are reevaluating their business right now because, for agents that just got in the business the last 12, 24 months, they don't really necessarily know some of the things that some of us had to go through during the last recession. And so you want to always be willing to learn. You want to be willing to adapt and be agile. And honestly, that takes sometimes putting your ego to the side and making sure that you're looking at the market and you're adjusting as you need to. And you're also willing to learn. So take time every single day, again, to work on your mindset, to work on what's going on in the industry, to make sure that you're making the necessary steps. And then back to the first one that we mentioned about foundational skills, it's important to track your numbers. It's important to know your numbers, to know your conversion rates, to know the amount of contacts that you're making, because sometimes the market shift that we're going to see, you might have to double down and do more in order to have the same conversion. So you wouldn't know those things if you didn't take back and look at those foundational skills, like knowing your numbers. And then number 5, I love this one. You have to ask yourself, would you hire you? If you were your own boss, which you are, so if you were the CEO and you looked at all the tasks that you're doing every single day, day in and day out, would you hire you? And sometimes this takes us really being honest and real with ourselves and having, that self-accountability. And so if the answer is no, you might need to adapt, because the reality is if you get, a piece of paper and you write a vertical line and you write down all the tasks and things that you intend to get done for the day, and then at the end of the day, on the other side of the line, write down everything that you actually got done and compare, where did you get lost? Are there things that you intended to get done that you didn't? And if your job depended on it, would you have gotten it done? And so what you're going to find is we get lost in kind of the everyday, mundane, small task. If it took you an hour to respond to 2 emails, it's probably because you got distracted somewhere, right? And so the reality is, if you had a boss, somebody that was over your head, what would they say? What would that look like? And you have to stick to a structure. And so, ask yourself, would you hire you? Be real, be honest, because again, we're only in competition with ourselves. And a lot of times, in order to get better, that's going to take some self-accountability. And then last but not least is leverage. We all have the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So in order to buy your time back, we have to know what our own personal worth is, and then also leverage and delegate some tasks. So for example, if you're, shooting a YouTube video, and instead of spending an hour on a thumbnail graphic, maybe you hire that out, or you get you a virtual assistant, or you can even go to like Fiverr and for $5 or $10 and have somebody create one for you. So again, make sure that you're focusing on your income producing activities or high leverage activities as an entrepreneur, and then delegating everything else. And a lot of times that's hard for us to do if we don't know what our own worth is. And the reality is that's the only way that you're going to continue to grow your business. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck in all the admin tasks day in and day out. So I hope you enjoy this. Go ahead and like and subscribe, as we're dropping content every single week. And if you comment below, we'll send you our 1-page bulletproof business plan to ensure that you're going to have a successful 4th quarter this year, but also a successful 2023. Thank you for watching.